You're the reason my life's worth living. You're the reason I'm alive. I'd be lost without you. You're the reason that I strive. You're my destiny.
I love to talk about hijab, even if I'm not a perfect representation of hijab. No one is, but just to tell you that, the more I grow up, the more I feel how necessary hijab is. Ironically, when I was young, if I become a mother one day, if I have a teenage daughter, I would strongly encourage her to wear hijab. I would never force her. Of course, my own mother doesn't wear hijab. No one in my family wears hijab. Just to tell you how much you need a lot of strength to wear hijab in a home, in a family where Islam is not really at the forefront, where no one really cares, where your decision to put on hijab is met with indifference. But anyways, Allah is great. We don't wear hijab to please people. We don't wear hijab because our parents allows us or not does not allow us to. We wear hijab for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to protect our own souls. So yeah, this world we have to be very careful now, especially with social media and all. You don't realize how you do a lot of harm to yourself. Sometimes you are so desperate and hungry for love and attention and admiration that you're willing to go to all extremes to beautify your physical being. Sometimes you do ridiculous things, such as now I'm starting to become more aware of that, like putting lots of makeup, putting tight or revealing clothes sometimes doesn't really help you in any way. It just attracts all kinds of unhealthy people, unhealthy things to you. So you need a lot of strength, a lot of confidence to be able to break free from these um, ideologies and to not be influenced by that. For example, I have noticed myself when you go to the university wearing hijab, or if you're wearing a baya, it's not easy to fit in. You're probably not going to fit in unless you have a group of people like you. But what happened with me myself, I can say that whenever I've gone to the university, I can feel that I am alien, I am odd, I am different, and I can feel the discrimination. I can feel that people judge me based on how I dress. They probably underestimate me, they probably think I'm ugly or whatever. And as opposed to that, when I stopped wearing my hijab, which I shouldn't have done, but which when I did that, I noticed that people's attitude changed towards me. So we need a lot of strength, a lot of patience, a lot of support when we choose to live a kind of lifestyle like that, especially in the current world, which is getting more and more difficult because nowadays you see people removing their clothes. The more people are removing their clothes, the more attention they get, the more importance they seem to get, the more money they seem to get. But as a Muslim, let's remember that our aim is not to copy any kind of indecent fashion. Our aim, our values are always the same. Our main values are purity, chastity, modesty, integrity, many simplicity, morality. There are so many things which will always be relevant and which make perfect sense to me. Even if they are difficult, it's not an excuse to not do them, because you can't be following the crowd, because the crowd might be leading you astray. Don't take their responsibility, don't focus on them, don't analyze what they are doing wrong. Just let them do what they have to do. It's not your responsibility. When you die, these people are not going to be relevant. So just I remind myself that, because I know that sometimes the more you become practicing, the more you become firm in the journey of Islam, you have a lot of pain and suffering looking around you, because you see that you feel more and more alienated. You feel like no one will understand you. You feel like you are the only one doing that, thinking that way, and sometimes you feel like it's the whole world against you. But it's not just about you. Just remember all these. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was such a the biggest, greatest human being that ever lived. So even Allah did not spare him from these difficulties. So we are just ordinary people. Why would Allah not test us? So just take like my aunt was talking to me the other day, and she was telling me that the more intelligent you are, the more successful you are, the more the examinations will increase and will be higher, more difficult. So take it as a huge compliment that Allah must feel that now you're ready for a bigger examination, so He's definitely going to test you. And don't take that as a bad thing. Don't despair, don't be depressed, because that's exactly what Shaitan wants you to do. So be very careful, and just remember that this life is just temporary. It's just very short. It's just an illusion. Don't take this life too seriously. I know that sometimes the dunya can be very seductive and deceptive, but don't forget the ultimate reality is death. And when death comes, I'm sure that you don't want to be in the state that the mainstream popular culture is nowadays. I'm sure you don't want to do that. So I think the remote control is in our hands, but we have to again know what we want. We can't have everything, so we have to become strong. There is no other choice. In whatever you do in life, you will have to be strong. You can't keep on making